Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. I'm always incredibly surprised at how successful the campaign is for Kidney Car. I'm talking about the Kidney Foundation, and they play an incredible role. But that particular campaign, to me, each time I hear the radio ad, I just say to myself, what an incredible job they have done as a foundation. Here to tell us more about that, and of course the other great work that they do, I'm joined by Jennifer Heale, Senior Regional Manager of Community and Fund Development at the Kidney Foundation of Canada. Welcome, Jennifer. Great to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Let's talk about the Kidney Foundation in general and what role that they play.
So we do a lot of work locally, provincially, and nationally with patient families. We provide our hospitals and dialysis centers with educational handbooks that help guide patients through their journey with kidney disease, informing them about medications, what they might expect through their treatment plan, dietary concerns that they might have, and just a whole host of resources. We also work with patients with a peer support program. So there's actually a strong emotional toll that would come with living with a lifelong chronic disease, as you can imagine. And so we find that when you're able to talk to other people who've been through what you've been through, and they've managed to kind of make their lives more livable as they've become more knowledgeable about their disease, that this is actually very beneficial to people. And we hear how they're able to, pick up hockey again, or, they're eating a little better, they've got more energy, just because they've had that year, someone to lean on who knows a little bit more about the experience, because they've already walked that path.
How prevalent is it in this country?
So 1 in 10 people actually has kidney disease, and very few people are aware of how common it is. The other misconception is that it's older people that have kidney disease, but actually 46% of people who are newly diagnosed with kidney disease are under the age of 65. So it's, you can be born with a kidney problem, or it's something that can develop throughout your lifetime, and it's certainly not limited to senior citizens.
What are some of the causes? I mean, obviously you said some people are born with it. I mean, that's a fairly obvious one, but what other causes?
I mean, there's definitely genetic component for a lot of people, but one of the leading things that can contribute to kidney disease would be having diabetes, for example. So there's a strong link there. High blood pressure can impact your kidneys. Some people experience an injury to their kidneys, which can develop into kidney disease. There's a lot of different ways that things can go wrong with your kidneys. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, kidney disease progresses silently in the body. People aren't aware that they have it.
So what are the symptoms then?
So there's different things you can be looking out for. Changes in your urination patterns, sleep patterns, increased nausea, digestive problems, things like that. But a lot of it is quite subtle. And so it's one of the things we encourage people to know a lot about their own medical history, about their risk. So if you go on kidney.ca, we do have a risk assessment tool that you can complete, which will help you to understand whether or not it's something you should be worried about.
I mentioned what a great campaign Kidney Car is. You have a personal story about it. You have to share this story. This is a great story.
Yeah, so I call myself an unwilling Kidney Car participant because I was hoping my car would last a little longer, but it did a couple of months ago. It did die on me, and I thought, well, I work here. I think I'll just donate it. And honestly, I thought it was in such bad shape that I was getting a good deal with the free tow, but it turned out that the receipt I got was for several times
what you expected,
yeah,
I guess,
I don't want to say the exact amount, but I was very pleasantly surprised, let's just say that. And it was really easy, everything they say is true. You just call them up, they book a contactless tow for you, and the guy was lovely, came to my house right away, polite, took the car away, and then a few weeks later I had this very good receipt, which I'm not unhappy with.
Yeah. How successful has that campaign been for the foundation?
So since the early 90s, when the program was started, they have had over 500,000 cars donated.
Wow! In this country alone?
Yeah, and the other thing that's been interesting too is that they're not all clunkers either. Some people are getting rid of cars for a variety of reasons, and sometimes they're able to be resold at auction.
I see. Okay.
So the most expensive car they ever had was a Buick for 2020 that was worth $47,000.
Oh my goodness.
So that is a significant gift, and you can imagine how much that could do to support patient programs and research and that kind of thing.
No kidding. Well, you mentioned auction. You have an online holiday auction going on right now, right?
do.
Yeah.
So we're trying to raise funds for our patient programs here locally. Most specifically, we're trying to help our low-income kidney patients through the holiday season. A lot of people who have kidney disease do experience economic hardship. So people can go to 32auctions.com/KFOC.
KFOC,
It's
okay.
Kidney Foundation of Canada. And we have a lot of great prizes on there. And you can also donate to our holiday hamper program, which is going to provide gift cards so that people can go to the grocery store and get a meal for their families during the holiday season.
Does your funding predominantly come from private citizens?
Yeah, we get most of our funding from individuals who are supporting us, and so we're always out in the community trying to meet new people and let people know that the work that we're doing. Yes, we're funding research, but we're also having an immediate impact on families through the work that we do with them day in, day out in our community.
I think people forget that, right, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Is that you do have support programs, as you said, just the peer program alone, right? Talking to somebody that's gone through it, that is living with kidney disease, incredibly important, right? Is that in communities right across the country as well?
We do have peer support across the country. I can tell you that the peer support program here in Ontario is growing at a ridiculously fast pace. And one of the things that's been really interesting is we've been able to start looking at niche populations within the kidney community. So for example, if you're a parent with a child who has kidney disease and you go to a peer support group for kidney patients, you're not necessarily going to find someone who's experiencing the exact same thing you're going through.
Right.
So we've worked with CHIO and one of the other children's hospital. We've got some volunteers from there who are working with us to have a peer support program for parents whose children are dealing with kidney disease. We have another one for youth and young adults who are experiencing kidney disease. Imagine being at that time of your life when you're supposed to be carefree and exploring the world, and suddenly there's a lot of limitations on what you can eat, and you're having to go to dialysis. 13 hours a week for dialysis is what the average patient spends. So that's a big impact on your life.
Absolutely. Jennifer, really appreciate you joining us today. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Again, kidneycar.ca for that kind of donation, kidney.ca for more information. We'll be right back.